Next, economic model of criminal behavior or the basic theory. So, the factors that influence an individual decision to engage in criminal activities are: una po, yung expected gains from crime relative to earnings from legal work. Na bago sila gumawa ng crime, titingnan po muna nila if magbe-benefit po ba sila or may mabe-benefit po ba sila sa crime na kanilang gagawin. Second, the chance of being caught and convicted. Mabilis lang ba ako mahuhuli kapag nakagawa ko ng ganitong crime or hindi? And then third, the extent of punishment. So, gaano ba kahaba yung possible na punishment or penalty na maibibigay sa akin bago ako gumawa ng crime? And the opportunities in legal activities. If pag gumawa ba ako ng crime, may mga opportunities pa ba na welcome sa akin or wala? So, those are the factors that influence an individual's decision bago man po sila makakommit or ma-engage po sa criminal activities. So, next is the Karl Marx theory. So, according to Karl Heinrich Marx, he viewed crime as the product of law enforcement policies to a labeling process theory. So, he also saw connection between criminality and the inequities found in the capitalist system. So, ito po yung part ng economic theory wherein nagkakaroon po tayo ng gap between the capitalists or dun sa mga nasa taas and the workers. So, ano ba yung dalawang components ng theory na yan? Una, or two components ng mode of production under po ng Marx theory. Una po is the productive forces. So, nandyan po yung mga resources natin, yung mga technology na ginagamit. So, lahat po ng resources or a means of resources is what we call the productive forces. Second po is the productive relation. So, the capitalist bourgeoisie, the means of production, or siya po yung pinakamataas, the head, proletariat, those who do the actual labor, and the lumpen proletariat or lumpen proletariat is the dependent or the non-productive person. So next, Friedrich Engels and Wilhelm Bonger's theory. According to Engels, they portrayed crime as a function of social demoralization, a collapse of people's humanity reflecting a decline in society. So in short, kapag sinabi po pag kay Engels po, it talks about the brutality of capitalists over the proletariat. So lahat po ng mababanggit natin na theory ngayon is economic theory. So yung kay Engels naman po, it talks about the brutality of capitalists over the proletariat. While kay Bonger po, believe that crime is a social and not biological origin but exception of few special cases. Crime lies within the boundaries of normal human behavior. So according to Bonger, no act is naturally immoral or criminal. He viewed crime as antisocial act that reflect current moralities. So in short, when we are talking about Bonger, crime is a function of poverty. So that is the difference between Bonger and Engels. So kay Engels po, brutality among the capitalists over the proletariat, while kay Bonger naman po is a crime is a function of poverty. Next is the biopsychosocial model of crime causation. So we have bio means examine aspects of biology that influence health. Psycho means psychological components, things like thoughts, emotion, or behavior. Social examine social factors that may influence the health of individual. Things like our interaction with others, our culture, or our economic status. So in short, biopsychosocial model reflects how we learn and adapt in a given society which had an effect on the psychological well-being of certain individuals. Because nandun na yung bio nandun na yung influence natin sa health natin. Nandun na din yung naaapektuhan yung emotions natin. At sino po ba yung possible na maging motivators natin or maging influencer natin? Those are the society. So next is the moral insanity and criminal responsibility. So moral insanity was term used to describe persons who were normal in all aspects except that something was wrong with the part of the brain that regulates affective responses. So according to Henry Maudsley, insane or criminal according to the standpoint from which they are looked at. So meaning, pag naman daw po in terms of criminality, since causation of crime po tayo, if the person who are insane is under lucid interval, so they have criminal responsibility. But if they are not under lucid interval, automatically po, wala po silang meron po silang criminal responsibility. So, in terms po ng connection natin sa causation of crime when it comes to insanity. So, next is the premenstrual syndrome. So, refers to onset of the menstrual cycle that triggers excessive amounts of the female sex hormones which affect antisocial aggressive behavior. So, according to Katarina Dorothea Dalton, 156 newly adult female are prisoners. So, according to Fishbane, significant number of incarcerated females committed their crimes during their premenstrual phase. At least, a small percentage of women appear vulnerable to cyclical hormonal changes which makes them prone to anxiety and hostility. Kasi madami po ang nakaka-experience na may mga tao po kasi or mga babae na sakitin yung puson, irritated. So, sa mga moments na ganun po yung na-experience nila due to sex hormones, nagiging involved po sila ngayon sa antisocial activity kasi yun yung way of their coping para mawala yung sakit na kanilang na-experience. At ito po ay nangyayari during the premenstrual syndrome. So, next is the battered child syndrome. So, a medical diagnosis based on evidence indicating that the child has been subjected to a pattern of serious and unexplained abuse. So, purely, ito po ay medical diagnosis. Evidence of past injuries is actually evidence of the defendant's prior the bad actions. So, there is also a consideration of which may lead the jury to improperly infer that the defendant has a propensity or character trait for committing wrongful acts. So, battered child syndrome, just like battered woman syndrome, it happens only to a child. Na ito po ay medical diagnosis na ini-indicate natin that the child has a continuous pattern or subjected pattern ng serious abuse or unexplained abuse coming from their parents or coming from their guardian. So that is what we call the battered child syndrome. While the battered woman syndrome, psychological term used to describe women who are stuck within or have recently left a violent relationship characterized by the cycle of violence. At na-experience po naman ito ng mga babae sa kanilang mga asawa. Pag continuously, may cycle din po yung violence is what we call battered woman syndrome. Pero if it happens to a child, battered child syndrome. So, ano nga ba yung 3 basic stages of this pattern? Una, we have the tension. Andyan yung away nila. Merong nagkakainitan na. Pangalawa, violent incident. Nagkakaroon na ng sakitan. Masasakit na salita or even physical attacks ay meron. At ang pangatlo, honeymoon or loving contrition. So, during this stage, the abuser is often very loving and remorseful. So promises are made by the batterer that he will not violently abuse the woman again. So ito po yung sa honeymoon session nila, mangangako na siya na hindi na niya gagawin kung ano yung nagawa niya before, hanggang sa matapos niya kung ano yung ginagawa niya, at noong mga susunod na araw, naulit na naman po. Nagkaroon na naman ng tension, violent incident, honeymoon, another cycle, tension, violent incident, honeymoon. Nagkakaroon na po tayo ngayon ng continuous pattern ng abuse po sa isang babae. At pwede po natin siyang i-refer as battered woman syndrome. So next is the postpartum stress syndrome and postpartum psychosis. So postpartum stress syndrome causes feelings of anxiety and self-doubt. Lalo na yung bagong panganak, especially nangyayari po ito sa mga bagong panganak na kapag nanganak na sila, iisipin nila ngayon kung kaya ba nila yon as a mother, as a first time mom, na umaabot sila sa point na nagkakaroon sila ng anxiety or kinu-question na nila yung sarili nila if kaya ba nila yon or hindi. Next is the depression, passing period of sad or bad feelings. So while yung clinical depression defined as prolonged, intense, sad, empty feelings lasting 2 weeks or more. So kapag po na-experience nyo na medyo nakakaroon kayo ng bad day and also nakakaramdam kayo ng lungkot sa sarili nyo ng ilang araw, depression po ang tawag doon. While kapag naglas na po siya ng 2 weeks, clinical depression. So, ito na po yung kailangan po ng cure, kailangan po ng therapy. Minsan, nagpapa-rehabilitate sila for their therapy. Next is the postpartum psychosis. So, caused by multiple factors which is uncommon with only 1 in 1,000 women developing postpartum psychosis within a few days after childbirth. So, it can dramatically affect everyone involved. Some new mothers suffering psychosis may have to be hospitalized for a short term, or even more rare, an unfortunate few who do not receive right treatment in time may harm themselves or their child. So meaning po sa postpartum psychosis, meron po kasi mga first time mom na nakakapanakit sila ng anak nila. Sinasaktan nila yung anak nila sa sobrang stress nila. And they experience yung psychosis. Kasi yan po ay epekto ng kanilang panganganak. At kailangan po nilang i-hospitalize in a short term para po sila ay ma-cure. While the other moms naman po na hindi nakaka-experience ng postpartum psychosis, sila po yung mga hindi po nagkaroon ng problems during their pregnancy. While the others naman po na nakaka-experience, some factors are naka-experience po sila ng problems during their pregnancy. So next is the Marxist criminology. So yung bourgeoisie, the owners of the production, proletariat are the workers, lumpen proletariat are the non-productive people or the dependent people. So the rich use the fear of crime as a tool to maintain their control over the society. So, the poor are controlled through incarceration. So, yan po yung ginagawa ng iba. The middle class are diverted from caring about the crimes of the powerful because they fear the crimes of the powerless. So, meaning po, tinetake advantage po nila kung ano po yung meron dun sa mga nasa kung ano po yung meron sa mga nasa baba. Kasi kinakayan-kayanan lang po nila yung mga nasa baba na workers. Since sila po ay the owners of the production, ginagamit nila yung authority nila as an individual. So, next is the conflict theory. Views crime as the outcome of class struggle. Power refers to the ability of person and groups to determine and control the behavior of others and to shape public opinion to meet their personal interests. So in terms of conflict theory, it talks about the power coming from the authority going down to the lower class. So nagkakaroon po ng class struggle since especially dito po sa atin, tayo po ay nasa democratic country, nagkakaroon ng conflict between the higher authority or higher position over the lower class position. Since meron pong mga gusto or mga demand yung mga nasa lower position na hindi din po nabibigyan ng pansin ng mga nasa higher position. And sometimes they uses their power para po mag-gain ng interest po over the lower class family. Okay, so next is the Willembongers. So as I said a while ago, when we are referring to Willembonger, it refers to the desire of wealth, but this is only the most privileged people with the most capital who can enjoy their luxuries. Since ang sabi po natin, kapag kay Bonger, crime is a function of poverty. Kaya po natitake advantage or disadvantage po siya in the part of the lower class family. Next, kay Ralph Dahrendorf, take note of the comprises of two groups, yung association na meron sila. Those who possess authority and use it for social domination, those are the upper class family or the higher authority, and those who lack authority and are dominated are the lower class family. And that society is a plurality of competing interest group. In short, it talks about the higher and the lower class. Next, George Wald found out that criminal acts are consequence of direct contact between forces struggling to control society. Una, from passing the law. Second, from prosecuting the case. Syempre, kailangan meron tayong law na naipass bago tayo mag-prosecute ng isang kaso. Next, third is to develop relationship between the inmate and guard or the person deprived of liberty and the jail officer or bucor officer kung saan man po sila nakakulong. So, para po at least meron po silang connection between the authorized person and between the person who is inside the facility. Next, parole agent and parolee is marked by conflict. So, kaya nga po meron po tayong GCTA or Good Conduct Time Allowance para po mabigyan po sila ng parole at para po makatulong sa kanila na ma-release agad. Next, social reality of crime. So, according to Kinney, so criminal definition or the law represents the interests of those who hold power in the society, which is true that the crime represent po those who hold power in the society. Na minsan kung sino pa yung promotor ng crime or ng isang krimen, sila pa po pala yung may mataas na estado sa community, which is yun naman po ay nangyayari in real life situation. Next, left realism. According to John, Leah, and Jack Young, relative deprivation is equals to discontent plus lack of political position. So, equals to crime. So, it argued that crime victims in all cases need and deserve protection. So, crime happens when a person is being deprived economically, kaya po nagkakaroon ng discontentment, plus the governing body in the community who do not know how to render solution to problems. So in short, yung relative deprivation is equals to the discontentment of the person inside the society since they are being deprived economically, plus lack of political position coming from the officials is equals to criminality. Okay, postmodern theory focuses on the critical analysis of communication and language in legal codes. And ano po yung language nila society? Is the language of the rich and powerful, which is true po sa social reality of crime na kung sino po yung mataas, yan po yung possible na nagiging root causes ng criminality. At ano lang daw po yung language na meron sa society? The language of rich and powerful. Next, institutive constitutive theory. According to Barak and Hendries, there are two aspects of crime. The crime of repression, which occurs when members of a group are prevented from achieving their fullest potential because of racism, sexism, or some other status bias. And the crime of reduction occurs when the offended party experiences a loss of some quality relative to his or her present standing. So this time, the crime of repression, in order for them to achieve their goals or fullest potential, the basis is on the racism, sexism, or some other status bias. Kaya po may mga biases din po, especially sa society, na mapapansin nyo na kapag iba yung racism mo or iba yung pinanggalingan mo, iba yung treat sa'yo ng ibang tao. So, gayon po yung nangyayari sa ating society. Nagkakaroon po tayo ng bias. And then, sa crime of reduction occurs when the offended party experiences a loss of some quality relative to his or her present standing. Like, for example, may isang lalaki na nagdala ng girlfriend niya sa kanyang family. Ngayon, yung girlfriend niya pala ay may previous history ng rape. And therefore, hindi na siya matatanggap ng family ng lalaki dahil dun sa kanyang naging experience before or dahil sa nangyari sa kanya before. Dahil iba na yung naging thinking ng parents nung lalaki dun sa kanyang girlfriend dahil dun sa nangyari sa kanya before or na-experience niya before. Next, conservatism and liberalism theory. Conservative ideologies assume that the ideal society is one in which authority is unquestioned. Since sinasabi nila na lahat ng bagay kasi ay may dahilan. Na kaya nangyari ang criminality, may dahilan yan. Kaya may nagawa siyang mali, may dahilan ang isang tao. Next, liberalism assumes that the ideal society is one in which there is equality of opportunity and had a general consensus to accept differences in rewards as the outcomes of fair competition. So, since tayo po ay nasa democratic government, everybody's opinion is being respected. So, nagkakaroon ng equality of opportunity among the individuals. Next, the radicalism, the rightist ideology. Racial and ethnic minorities are favored to keep more capable groups from becoming strong enough to challenge the system. Second, the leftists, those who inspired by Marxism, class, racial, and other forms of discrimination are promoted by the ruling class to keep the workforce divided, thus more easily controlled. So in terms of rightist ideology, since they are challenging the system, kasi alam nila na meron silang ipinaglalaban na nasa tama. So for example, yung rally. So sila po ay nagrarally kasi may ipinaglalaban sila na sa tingin nila ay tama. Yun po ay rightist ideology. While yung leftist, ito naman po yung may ipinaglalaban ka pero mali ang ipinaglalaban mo. Ang ipinaglalaban mo is to discriminate other people. So that is leftist. As long as nasa tama yung way natin to challenge the system, rightist ideology. Pero kung sa tingin natin, negative yung possible outcome, that is leftist. Next, rightist radicalism emphasize moral deterioration reflected in crime rate as the forerunner of society's political and economic collapse into war among racial and other groups fighting to survive. So while yung leftist radicalism posit fundamental and ultimately fatal contradiction in the structuring of capitalist liberal democracy. Meaning, kapag nasa rightist radicalism tayo, gagawin natin ng lahat kahit na tayo ay makasakit ng ibang tao as long as yung ginagawa natin is for us to fight to survive. Na kahit alam natin na tayo po ay possible na masaktan sa gagawin natin, as long as ginawa natin yun or inilaban natin para tayo ay mabuhay, that is rightist radicalism. While yung leftist radicalism, sila naman po yung mga tiwalag sa lipunan. Sila po yung wala pong naitulong or naiambag kundi ang makasakit ng ibang tao. And the identity fusion theory, defined as a visceral feeling of oneness with the group that is associated with increased permeability of the boundary between the personal and social self. So fused person view the group as family and believe that family membership requires sacrifices. So fused meaning po pinagsama. Kaya po, in criminality, yung group ng tao sa isang society, once na pinagsama-sama po sila, they felt na sila po ay isang family. Na ang isang family daw po requires sacrifices. Na whatever happens dun sa isa, lahat ng nasa grupo ay willing to help para maprotektahan yung kanilang member na naapektuhan. Kasi they treat them as a family. And they need to sacrifice because they are part of the family. That is the identity fusion theory.